Hold on just a sec for you guys on YouTube. There we go. Okay, and we are live on Instagram. And we are live on Instagram, Periscope. Okay, out there for you guys. Hold on just a sec. Trying to get things prepared for you guys right now. There we go. Okay, perfect. So, to everybody out there, hello, hola, Konnichiwa, Salaam, Ciao Namaste. Peace to all. This is the Pink Elf in the Room conversation. And today what we will be talking about is about the good, the bad, the ugly. Oh, wait. Let me rephrase that. The ugly, the bad, and the good. Now, what do I mean by this? The journey of the ugly, the bad, the good. In your own life, you're going to go through situations, frustrating times, whatever you're going through in everyday life, and not seem to know what to do, how to get past where you are. You may not understand the simple situation you're in at this point in time. And part of that understanding is growing in the journey. And sometimes for us, it can be frustrating. It can be a struggle. You can feel like quitting. You could feel like giving up. There could be things that are happening. That maybe you have dreams and you're trying to make them come true, and maybe there are things that have happened that have been consequential, or you feel they're punishments, but they're not. They're just consequences to whatever you do. So the first part is how this all starts, and the journey of all this is with us forgetting who we are in the first place. You see, we go through an entire lifetime forgetting everything about who we truly are. And some people might think, what do you mean by that? Because of the because of who you are, being a soul, not this body. This body is a vehicle. You are a soul right now in a human experience. You are choosing to create an experience out of this body. So, that being said, you are creating something right now that allows you to be who you are. But the many problems with this is that what we feel to be real, we think is real when it's not. There's nothing real about this planet, but we've made it real. Yes, yes, yes. Of course, you may feel your hand and you're like, well, it feels real. I touch I touch something and it feels real. I I I see something and I touch that and it feels real. And you have to understand, if we're talking a little bit more on the science side, you are using nerve endings through your brain connected to your soul, because this is all a connected machine. You are using it all together from the mind to the body, from the soul, to allow yourself to believe in it. Now, how does it do that? The nerves, what they do is before you even touch anything, you will feel the sense that it is real. You give yourself the thought that it is real, so it is real. So when you touch it, it becomes real. So maybe your next thought might be, well, then what if I think it's not real? Funny thing is, it takes a lot of practice to not believe it to be real, because you've been embedded so heavily in believing it's real. And on top of that, in a connected consciousness of who you are, you have created all this to be real. But you've simply played a game of forgetting who you are to understand those pieces, those blocks of who you are and how things really work within self. You've just merely forgotten, when truth is, you know the answer. The next thing I desire for us to talk about on top of this is getting to where you say you want to go. But before we even get into that, let me finish off by saying, of course, with forgetting. You forget for the reason to create something new. Because if you did remember everything that is happening in your everyday life, it wouldn't be any fun. You'd know everything. You'd be completely absolute about everything. You'd know it all, and there'd be no reason to have the fun you're having. And maybe you feel like, well, it's not fun feeling in the situation you're in. Or maybe you feel quite the opposite. Maybe you don't. It's all a choice, a perception of what you create out of everything you are going through. You can be upset, of course, about maybe your situation. You can have a hissy fit. You can be frustrated. You can be upset about everything that is going on around you, or you can change it. You have that power. You can change it. But the choice is yours. Are you going to sit there and allow things to be the way they are? Are you going to be upset about things because of how it is and everything? Are you going to believe that the world is out to get you? Or are you going to create something that allows you to go to where you say you desire to go? Where do you choose to go on your journey? Are you looking within self to find what you love, what you desire, what lights your heart on fire, what you care for, what grows you, what makes you become your happiness? What do you feel your purpose is on your journey of creating who you are in this realm Who are you choosing to be? Many of us are honestly going back and forth through everyday life, doing the same thing over and over and over again. Maybe we sleep, work, school, go home. Sleep, work, school, go home. Of course, we have eating and everything else and showering and so on and so forth, but that might be the repetitive thing that we're going through right now. And maybe we have a dream to go somewhere further after that. Maybe that's the case. Maybe we don't want that dream. Maybe that's not the case. But the truth of the matter is, go for something you truly desire, you love in life. Not something someone told you to go for because it's a safe thing to do. Being safe does not create what you desire in life, it creates what someone else desires in life. You have to choose to create something that you love out of your own passion, your own desire, your own creativity, not someone else's thoughts of what they feel you should do. Because what you're doing is becoming who you set yourself to be, who you truly are. Because during our journey, one of the most ugliest things through the journey is simply the people maybe we meet. Maybe the people who tell us we can't make it. Maybe people who mock us for this dream. It can be frustrating. Maybe it's your health. Maybe you're trying to change your health. Maybe you're going on a plant-based diet. Maybe you're becoming a vegetarian or a vegan or whatnot. And maybe people are mocking you for that. You got to remember there are consequences to everything. Not just that, everything. There are consequences even for me. And that is okay. Your perception, however, is how it will be and how you perceive it to be. I could be upset all day long when I go to a restaurant with someone and they have a bunch of meat and food and whatnot and decide that I'm unhappy there. And don't get me wrong, I've done that before. But at the same time, I've learned that you have to create something out of that moment to enjoy. So maybe I'll get some potatoes, maybe I'll get a little salad, maybe I'll get a little this and that, and I'll mix it together and create something. That's perception. Maybe you have people mocking you for dreams you desire because, again, they may not feel it is the safest objective in everyday life. You're going to have people who mock you anyways. You're going to have people who are going to try to steal whatever you're doing. So you might desire to think about it simply as this: just go for it. If people are going to say what they're going to say, they're going to say it anyways. If you do it, they're going to say something about it. If you don't do it, they're going to say something about it. So you might as well do what you love instead of what you don't love. Because when you love what you do, you're happy with what you love. Maybe the bad. The bad might be the situation you are in right now. Maybe you don't have the money for whatever you're trying to create in life. Maybe you're going through difficulties trying to slowly get to understand yourself, evolve yourself, get to that point. Maybe it's a frustrating struggle because you're still not getting it. Maybe it's manifestation. Maybe it's simply, again, trying to get the money. Maybe it's simply a situation you're in with family, relationship. Who knows what it could be? It could be anything. However, even in the bad, you have to look to see and choose what you desire in your life. What works and what doesn't work. Is this who you are being in this life? Or is this truly not you? For the people out there, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on Periscope, whether you're on YouTube, comment that. Is this who you are being? And if it's not who you're being, then my question to you is, what are you going to do to change what you're trying to create of self? And for the people on Instagram, one of the things I meant to tell you guys also, real quick, is the fact that I cannot see what you're writing if you're messaging me on there. I do apologize for that. It's because the front screen is actually broken, but you should be able to see me one way or another because I'm using the back screen for you to be able to see me. I just can't read your messages right now. If you do have something seriously you want to tell me that you feel is on your mind, I am happy to hear it as long as it's on Periscope or on YouTube. Just message me on there live if that's the case. But you could be going through any situation, and sometimes the things that you're going through might be frustrating and you might desire to give up. You might be at the end. For some people, it might be the hardest and scariest thing. You might be at a point where you feel you don't want to be here anymore on this planet. You might feel as though you're not worth it anymore. You might feel you're going through so many things right now and there's nothing you can do. But you have to realize that your life matters just as much as anyone else. I've been told this before by a few friends actually, that simply that not only do people need you to be around, but I need you to be around. You have to realize you are just as important as anybody else who is on this planet. Do not let anyone tell you who you are and how valuable you are to self. Only you can choose how valuable you are to yourself. It may not always be perfect. It may not even be the best of times, but take the time to grow yourself. Take time to meditate. Go outside, smell the roses, play some games, go out dancing, dance in the rain, climb a mountain, but enjoy yourself. Read a book, whatever lights your world to change what you feel is bad, because the more you work on that, the more you will realize to block out that negative, unnecessary energy, and you will work towards self. It can be good. Now, you have to remember all three of these are choices. You can make the best out of everything, and you could smile to make sure you are happy. You can meditate to make sure your mind is maintained. You could exercise to keep your body in check. You could go ahead and eat to keep healthy. You could spend the money necessary to keep going, even if maybe you don't have a lot, but finding a way to make more or finding a way to save more. It's all choice. Are you going to choose to go with the ugly? Are you going to choose to go with the bad? Are you going to choose to go with the good? There are a lot of things even I could cry over right now and be frustrated about in my life, but instead I'm going forward bravely and boldly to see who I truly am and not what people perceive me to be, because I know this is not who I am. What are you choosing? What are you choosing? Are you choosing to advance? Are you choosing to be primitive in life? And what do I mean by that? When I say advance, you change your simple perception of life and everything that is scary and bumping through the night. Maybe the people who are fear mongering with certain ideologies or telling you that this is going to happen to you and you're going to go to this horrible place or whatnot. Are you going to stay with those type of ideologies? Or are you going to grow and love people around you, work with people around you, create with people around you to be more of who you are? The self that you're choosing to be, your highest self. I tell people this, and I've told people this several times before. A first thought. First thought is vitally important for the simple fact that what it does is show the person, if they use their highest form of self, their first thought, they will never really have a problem in their life. And maybe for some people that takes practice, but if you practice enough, you won't have a problem in your life. But you have to be willing to choose that. What does this mean about the soul? All of that, all of what I'm stating right now about the soul simply means this. You are choosing an experience, and it's up to you, give or take your perception on how you think, how you think, how you think life should be. If you think life is frustrating, then it is. If you think life is great, then it is. If you think life is completely horrible, then it is. If you think life is a trap, then it is. If you think life is beautiful, then it is. But it is all a choice on what you desire to create. What are you choosing to create? To be your beauty, your amazingness, your divinity, your magnificence, your creativity as the gods, the goddesses, and the creators within who you truly are. We are ending it here. The first pink elf in the room of the new year. I desire you guys greatly to know how much I miss this. And just realize that to know thyself is to know the creator within who you truly are. So, to everybody out there, have a good morning, a great afternoon, and a fantastic evening. To everybody, peace and namaste.